Hello everyone, a warm welcome to all of you to today's video. In this video, we will continue the explanation of Class 11 Geography Chapter 1. The name of the chapter is Geography as a Discipline. Let us see the content of this chapter first. First, we will deal with Geography as an integrated discipline. After this, we will be studying about the relationship of physical geography with the natural science and geography with the social science. And lastly, we will study about the branches of geography and the importance of the physical geography. So now let's start the chapter. In continuation with chapter 1, today we'll start a new topic, that is geography as an integrating discipline. So before starting the topic, you must all be clear with the term integration or integrating. Integrating means a way of bringing everything together or uniting the things. Now when we say geography as an integrating discipline, that means geography tries to bring all the other fields of the social science or as well as the natural science together. That means it tries to bring a link or a connection between all the other fields. Geography is a discipline of synthesis, which include both spatial synthesis as well as the temporal synthesis. Now the point is, what do you mean by synthesis? By the term synthesis, we mean combining of different components or the element and forming a whole figure. Okay? So, geography tries to bring synthesis in the spatial as well as the temporal aspects. With the term spatial, we mean space, and by the term temporal, we mean time. That means synthesis between the time and the space. Now, geography is an holistic approach, okay? And when we say holistic, that again means we are not studying anything in part, we are studying everything in a whole. So that means holistic. Geography tries to find out interdependence among everything. As we can say, the present world is also called a global village. Why? Because the developed transportation, communication has helped to become the whole village or whole world as very connected. That's why we call the whole world as a global village, where we being in far away from we are so far away from everyone, right? But still we are connected. We can easily talk to one another. Nowadays we can easily see them also through the video calls and all. So though distance are there, but we have covered the distance without moving because of the developed transportation and communication. Now being a geographer is not an easy task. We need to have a broad understanding of all the related fields so that we can logically integrate them. Now for example, when we are studying the physical features, that is the ocean waters, the Himalaya hills, okay, all these are actually helping us as a defense, okay, so that we can protect us from the war that can be imposed on. Thus we can say that geography as an integrated discipline has interfaced with the numerous social as well as the natural science. All the science, that is natural or the social, have one basic objective, and that objective is to understand the reality, the main reason behind any reality. So thus we can say that geography acts as an integrating discipline which not only studies a single subject but also tries to bring linkage or connection between other different fields too. Now let us move to our next topic, that is the relation of the physical geography with the natural science. The traditional physical geography is linked with the geology, meteorology, hydrology and pedology. And thus we get geomorphology, climatology, oceanography and soil geography respectively, which have close link with the natural sciences. Thus, we can say that all the branches of the physical geography has a close relation or interface with the natural science. Geography is also linked with the study of the astronomical locations, where we deal with the study of the latitudes and the longitudes. We all know that the shape of our earth is geoid. But the basic tool that the geographer uses is the map, which is a two-dimensional representation of the earth. That means changing the three-dimensional earth or a globe into a two-dimensional representation is not that easy. It requires a lot of cartography as well as the quantitative techniques. To know about these techniques, we should have a proficiency in mathematics, statistics, economics. Therefore, we can say physical geography has a very close relationship with all the natural sciences. Now let us find out how geography and social science are interrelated. All the social science discipline, that is the sociology, political science, economics and demography, studies the different aspects of the reality. The branches of geography, that is social, political, economic and population, has also interfaced with the human geography. Now for example, like in political science, we are mainly concerned about the study of territory, people, sovereignty. Whereas in the political geography, we are interested in the study of the state, that is the country, as a spatial unit, where we also study about the people living in that state and their political behavior. One more example is economics. In economics, we deal with the study of the production, distribution, exchange and consumption. Economic geography also studies all these attributes but in their spatial aspects. Thus, we can also say that geography also has a link with the social sciences. There are two major approaches to the study of the geography. They are the systematic approach and the regional approach. Now let us see the systematic approach in details. The systematic approach was introduced by Alexander von Humboldt. In the systematic approach, the phenomena is studied as a whole, and then the identification of typologies or the spatial pattern is done. The systematic approach is further divided into four branches. They are physical geography, biogeography, geographic method and techniques, and human geography. Now let us see about the physical geography. The physical geography is also called physiography, and it is further divided into four branches. They are geomorphology, climatology, hydrology and soil geography. In geomorphology, we mainly study the landforms and all the related processes. Climatology is the study of the atmosphere, climate, weather, climatic types, climatic regions and so on. Hydrology is the study of the water bodies over the surface of the earth. And lastly, the soil geography is the study of different types of soils, the soil formation, distribution, etc. Next comes the human geography. Human beings are an integral part of the earth's surface. They are part and parcel of the nature. They have also contributed a lot through their cultural development and thus developed the human geography. The sub-branches of human geography are social and cultural geography, population and settlement geography, economic geography, historical geography, and the political geography. In the social and cultural geography, we mainly study about the societies and its spatial dynamics and the cultural elements. From the word spatial, we mean space. Population and settlement geography is mainly the study of the population growth, distribution, density, etc. In the economic geography, we mainly study the various attributes of the economics, like production, consumption, and so on. It is mainly a study of all the economic activities of the people. Historical geography. It studies all the historical processes through which the surface got originated. And lastly, the political geography. The political geography studies the space from the angle of the political events. It is mainly a study of the political system. The interface between the physical geography and the human geography led to the development of the new branch, that is the biogeography. The sub-branches of the biogeography are plant geography, zoogeography, human ecology, that is also called ecology or the ecosystem, and the environmental geography. In the plant geography, we mainly study the distribution of the forest and the grasslands. Zoogeography is the study of the distribution of animals and the different microorganisms. Human ecology studies the changing human-nature relationship and also its impact upon the human life. The environmental geography mainly studies the quality of the living environment and also its impact on the humans. Lastly comes the geographic methods and techniques. Under the geographic methods and techniques, we study the following, that is about the field study, the cartography, quantitative geography, and the geoinformatic technology, that is GIS, GPS, and the remote sensing. That was all about the systematic approach. Now let's move to the next approach, that is the regional approach. The regional approach was introduced by Karl Ritter. In this approach, the whole world is divided into different regions at a hierarchical level. And then all the geographical phenomena on that particular region is studied. Like the systematic approach, the regional approach is also further divided into 4 main branches. They are regional studies, regional analysis, regional development, and regional planning. The first is regional studies. As the name suggests, it covers the study of the particular or the selected area or a region. Next is the regional planning. It is a technical exercise which involves the theory and practice of an area planning for both the urban areas and the rural areas. Then comes the regional development. It mainly focuses on the process of the development in a region and then suggests different policies and programs to improve or to develop that particular region. Lastly is the regional analysis. Here, the geographer uses highly advanced mathematics or the statistical technique for analyzing a particular data. And thus, we come to the last topic of this video, that is the importance of the physical geography. The study of the physical geography includes the study of lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. The study of lithosphere includes the study of landforms, drainage, relief, physiography, etc. The study of atmosphere includes the composition, structure, and elements of the atmosphere, the temperature, pressure, wind, climatic types, etc. The hydrosphere includes the study of ocean, sea, lakes, and all the other water bodies. And lastly, the biosphere, which includes the life forms like human being, microorganism, etc., and all the sustaining mechanism like the food chain, food web, ecological balance, etc. And therefore, we can say that the study of the physical geography has emerged as a discipline of evaluating as well as managing the natural resources. And here we come to an end of this video. Hope all of you have liked the video. Thank you all for watching.